Love it.
Last season in SimCAR, Ray Kingsbury stole the show. The man from Connecticut won over half the races in the season and locked up the championship one race early with his dominating performance. He only finished off the podium once, in Mexico City. This season, it's a pinch different. Out goes all the GT3 manufacturers, and in comes Porsche as the sole manufacturer. With spec cars, it's all down to driver talent and car setup to determine who will get the upper hand, especially with Ray stepping aside on a title defense. Who will take over as the dominant force in SimCAR? We'll find out together tonight and over the next 10 weeks. SimCAR from Spa is next. Our venue this week is Circuit des Spa-Francorchamps, Opened in 1921, this 4.35-mile circuit, nestled in the Ardennes Forest, is argued amongst many as one of the best circuits in the world. From La Source to Raidillon and Eau Rouge to Blanchimont, this circuit is a true test of bravery and skill, and plenty of memories have been made, both real and virtual. The format for the SimCAR Porsche Cup is as follows. We are in open qualifying right now, 15 minutes to determine the grid for our 45-minute race this evening as the inaugural season of the SimCAR Porsche Cup commences tonight, live on ASN TV. With Bryan Sawyer in the production truck and reigning SimCAR Grand Am champion Ray Kingsbury next to me in the commentary box, my name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to Spa in Belgium, and Bryan has finally figured out which buttons to push. The SimCAR Porsche Cup on ASN TV is brought to you by Penguin RC Simulation, trusted by racers for their unbeatable support, rock-solid product guarantees, and high-performance sim gear. When you want equipment you can rely on lap after lap, Penguin RC Simulation delivers every time and is proud to present the Penguin RC Simulation Drivers' Championship. By Lambert Designs, the official graphics partner for SimCAR. From promotional materials to custom paint liveries, Lambert Designs has it all. For more information, join the NASA Discord and contact Brandon Lambert. Finally, by Whiplash SimCams, bringing you every angle, every lap, no matter the track, car, or series. Visit facebook.com/WSimCams, and thank you to Andrew Cardinale IV for camera support all season. Mr. Kingsbury, hopefully you can hear me, I can hear you. We've been dealing with some stuff going on right now, but it's awesome to be working again together with Sim Racing. Having you on the calls will be awesome as you are just fresh out of the car. So what's going through the minds of these drivers as we switch from the GT3, all those different manufacturers, to the Porsche Cup car specifically?
Well, according to the drivers before the race, they were not liking the lack of front downforce. I never really thought about a GT3 car having a lot of front downforce, but I guess it's got more than a Porsche Cup car, and apparently these things bounce like trampolines.
As we have really good timing, Kevin Fanning is going to be the first car to begin his qualifying run, and full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I just said it was open qualifying. I was hoping that it was open and I didn't make a fool out of myself. But we are here in Spa, so exciting and so ready for this inaugural season. Eau Rouge, Raidillon, over the curbs, and he might have gotten maybe a 1X, an off track, or a slowdown for that one, Ray. I'm not sure what track limits are through Eau Rouge and Raidillon, but a lot of these guys having trouble through this first bit of the qualifying lap.
Yeah, I think you're allowed to dip like 2 tires off, but it can't be over half the car for sure.
The interesting thing is, with it being 10 minutes for qualifying, if you're out front of this pack, Kevin Fanning, you're punching that hole in the air, you've got no slipstream, no tow, versus Tucker Lindgren in the 997, won a couple races, I think it was 3 in a row last season in the Grand Am Series. He's first car in this train behind Fanning. Matt Kingsbury in the 21, off the road he goes. He has Matt Mosby behind him, follows him in sympathy. Darius Timms has returned as well. We've got Scott Lindgren, Carter Gosh, Marwan Moftah, and through Puhan. Mosby holding up Timms potentially. Mosby went off the road. We stay focused on Kevin Fanning in the 911. In warm-up, practice rather, Anthony Flores out of the race control booth and a P1 in practice at a 2-minute 18.118. Carter Gosh, 2-minute 18.470. So about 0.3 of a second at the top of the board. And if I looked at the entry list correctly, I think we had 25 or so cars, maybe more, entered in this race. Super exciting for this inaugural season. As Kevin Fanning through Blanchimont down to the bus stop chicane. Tucker Lindgren is right behind him. Times will begin to roll in qualifying. 40 miles an hour for the right, 42 for the left, and across the start-finish line, Kevin Fanning in the 911, and that first lap didn't count for him. First lap for Tucker Lindgren, 2:21.140. Mosby's lap doesn't count. Timms' lap doesn't count. A lot of these guys, first laps are not counting due to the shenanigans that we just saw, Ray.
Yeah, the tires are cold. I was watching a lot of guys dance up the top of Eau Rouge. Clinton Funk was completely sideways. His tires are definitely warm now. Looks like he's got Lambert coming up on the back of him here, so I'm sure he'll yield the position and then he'll get a clean lap the next time by. But that's going to hold Lambert up if he was on a heater. I don't really think anyone's really on a heater on their first lap, but every lap counts when it's a tough track like Spa and it's easy to get off track. So you definitely want to make sure you get a banker in there.
As Kenneth Ingersoll to the top of the board at a 2-minute 19.714. Brandon Lambert, 2-minute 20.679 for the man from Alabama. But it's 9.5 tenths. Let's call it a second from first to second. We look at John Majoribanks in the 30. Right behind him, Matthew Lindy. Right behind Lindy, Raymond Rodriguez in the 129. And Daniel Coletta in the 99. Tell you what, Brian, let's pick a car and ride on board for a lap or so here at Spa. Down to the final chicane. Onboard Kevin Fanning, the 911. Remember that first lap a couple minutes ago didn't count. Across the start-finish line, always quick in qualifying, 2-minute 19.962. He's 0.2 of a second away from Kenneth Ingersoll's lap time at the top of the board. Carter Gosh, P1 for the kid from Minnesota, 2-minute 18.458 for the 91. Right behind him, Matt Mosby. That second lap did not count for him in the 35. Matt Kingsbury to second, 2:19.142.
Oh, yeah, really good lap from Ghosh. I was watching that. Mosby kind of gave him the slip down the backstretch there, and then he pulled wide after the kink. I don't know if that helped him too much. I don't know how much the slipstream is here, but yeah, Ghosh all the way to the top there. Maybe a little help from his teammate.
As Anthony Flores in the 7 goes to third quickest. Karsten Quint in the 555 goes to fourth. Lambert 11th. Clinton Funk has not set a lap time yet. Zach Goddard across the line. 2:19.7. He goes to sixth.
Josh, who do you got as the winner for this one?
It's hard to predict, Ray, because we've seen so much crazy stuff happen, whether it's NASA or SimCAR, anything here on ASN. If I predict a winner, it usually doesn't stick. But if you're forcing me to, against my will, let me see. We got a minute left in qualifying right now. I mean, Carter, gosh, I didn't realize that Carter was 0.6 up. But I would say Fanning has the experience of running these races. You could be quick over one lap, and you could also be terrible over a race distance. So we will just have to wait and see as we look at Gosh in the 91. Kevin Fanning's going to complete his third and final lap. He's right in front of Gosh, heading into the final corner for the 911.
I'm going to put my bold prediction on Tony Flores.
Across the start-finish line for Fanning. Can he improve? 2:19.468. He goes to fourth. That will be, well, he's got one lap. No, he gives it up. I thought he had one lap left according to timing, but he gave it up. And fastest lap. Did Carter just improve again? 2:18.437. And inside baseball, Mr. Sawyer, it is still broken from what you sent me. As qualifying, checkered flag is out, and we will see if anybody improves. Kenneth Ingersoll stays third. Matthew Lindy in second. 2:19.0 was his last lap, and it might stay that way, as we've got 3 minutes for these guys to finish their laps. Zach Goddard in the 2:29. Next car to finish his qualifying run. As Clinton Funk crosses the line, it did not count his lap. Goddard crosses the line. Let's see what he will run. It does not count his lap either. As everybody else finishing up. Raymond Rodriguez clips the curb, has an issue, he abandons. John Majori banks into the right. Very odd to abandon it that way. And Joe Pascucci.
It looks like he had a cut earlier in the lap. Maybe getting some pit entry practice in, because why not? You're going to need it.
As Joe Pascucci in the 015 will be the next car to finish his qualifying run. And Bryan, it's magically fixed itself. I don't know what's going on, but c'est la vie. Yeehaw. Through Blanchimont goes Pascucci. And down the straightaway to the final chicane. If we could pick up the 015. Excelled in the vehicular gymnastics competition for a couple of weeks in NASA. Trades the Volkswagen Beetle for a Porsche. And across the line for the man from Michigan. It does not count his lap. Warren Roloff in the 50, 2 minute 19.993. They are in the 11th position. And the only car left, Kenneth Ingersoll in the 69. Let's pick him back up and see what he can run. Down the straightaway into Blanchimont. You cannot take this corner full throttle like in most cars. Or did he? I saw a couple cars tapping the brakes on entry, but it doesn't look like he lifted or hit the brakes, and down to the final chicane. His last lap was a 2 minute 19.114, and he gives it up. As that is qualifying done and dusted in Spa for the first round of the SimCAR Porsche Cup, and Carter Gosch up by 0.6 of a second to Matthew Lindy in car number 3. Kenneth Ingersoll, Matt Kingsbury, Kevin Fanning, the top 5. As we are going to step aside for just a couple moments, let these guys have a little bit of a warm-up. We'll take a breather. And on the other side of the break, the first round of the Porsche Cup is green.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds
Side by
it.
side between these two in turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap, clog at the inside line. McLaughlin contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up Betty to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Magnus will hold his spot. The SimCAR Porsche Cup on ASN TV is brought to you by Penguin RC Simulation, Lambert Designs, Whiplash SimCams, and I'm really good at preparing to how to read a script. Words are hard. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to ASN TV. Bryan's throwing me off, no matter the platform, at ASN TV USA. According to Bryan, we're apparently on the dark web too, so if you DM him and you ask him really, really nicely, he might give you that .onion domain. And if you'd like to race in SimCAR, they are now partnered with NASA Sim Racing, which has something for everyone in 2026. For more information, visit nasasimracing.com. We welcome you back to Spa in Belgium for round one of the 2026 SimCAR Porsche Cup Series with Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, Ray Kingsbury next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz, live on ASN TV. Mr. Sawyer, as we get set to grid, take us through upcoming programming on ASN. You're muted, Bryan. I still can't hear you, Bryan. I got nothing. Well, now you're there. You got 20 seconds, Bryan. I will. Sunday Night Lights, NASA Rallycross lights on Sunday. That's in Winton. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern. NASA Rallycross contenders in the World Championship Barcelona on Monday. And we are back for Imola for the Porsche Cup Series next week. 9 p.m. for World Championship, 9 p.m. Eastern for SimCAR. And let's take us through really quick the top 5 of the grid or so. It says 28 cars getting set to roll. Carter Gosh, Matthew Lindy, Kenneth Ingersoll, Matt Kingsbury, Kevin Fanning, top 5. Anthony Flores, Karsten Quint, Goddard, Lindgren, Christos Apparatus, the top 10. Warren Roloff, Majori Banks, Coletta, Warwas, Ballan, Lambert, Sohn, Moftaw, Lindgren, and Prowl, the top 20. Pascucci, Mosby, Crossgrove, Lifflander, Timms, Rodriguez, Kirtley, and Funk, the remaining grid. I'm blaming Bryan for any technical issues that we have. We're testing new things, but we're here for round one of SimCAR. This is going to be a super fun time. All Porsche Cup cars the reigning SimCAR champion next to me in the commentary box. It is going to be a lot of fun. 45 minutes here at Spa. Plenty of action to be had. Thanks for joining us on ASN TV. We get set to go green in Belgium.
Hello, everybody. Does this actually work?
I can hear you now, Brian. We go green in Spa. Side by side, Gosh and Lindy looking to the inside as Flores in the 7, tried to make it 3 wide, nothing doing, 4 wide into Lost Source. Off the road, nearly goes Lindy, no contact for the top 5. Off the road goes Majority Banks in the 30, comes across into Apparatus, he saves it in the 27. Nobody having issues through the field, down the hill to Eau Rouge and Radion for the first time in anger. 142 miles an hour. Lindy will have the slipstream down the Kemmel Straight. One car off the road, 2! Massive crash for Cosgrove. Mosby, Lambert, another car involved as well, trying to figure it out. It's Warloff in the 40 and Balland in the 49. Gosh, defending on Lindy. I don't believe there's full course yellows, so these guys dueling away as if nothing had happened. Lindy through Lake Holm, trying to find a way around, bouncing over the curbs, looking to the inside of No Name Corner, looking to the outside, and off camber, trying to find a way around. Gosh, playing a great roadblock. Kenneth Ingersoll in the 69 as well. Halfway through this first lap in Belgium.
There's
Speaker's
another
Corner, another issue. Kevin Balland's continuing. Tucker Lindgren in the 997. Thanks for picking me up on that race. So much action already. Side by side Flores with Ingersoll and Puhan. Can Flores get it? He does. Move him to 3rd. Down to the Fognier chicane. Majority Banks, Quint, side by side. The right, the left. It'll set Majority Banks up fairly well. Forced Quint onto the curb. Bouncing his way through. Majority Banks takes the spot. That is for, it looks like 7th position.
It looked like on that accident with Lindgren that he was actually just kind of victim, passenger to some contact between Mafta and
Flores
as they came together.
Huge run on Lindy. We'll try and take a second look at those accidents when it calms down, but into Blanchimont, Flores takes the spot. Lindy forces his way, or tries to force his way through, down to the bus stop chicane on the outside. Trying deep on the brakes. Flores nearly closed the door. Lindy and Ingersoll. Here comes Kingsbury in the 21. Phenomenal racing at the end of the first lap. Carter Gosh leads. Only a few massive accidents on this first lap. I want to take a second look and see. Mr. Sawyer, if you'd like to take that, or Kingsbury. Mr. Kingsbury, you want to take that? Let's take a second look at that lap 1 crash.
Yeah, it was a messy one. It looked like Mosby, maybe. Was it Mosby? No, he's still alive. Got booted out on the first lap there.
Was that Warloff? Was the pink car? I think that is Mosby. No, it's Balland. Apologies there. Hard to keep track. That was a huge hit for those two. Lambert, Sohn, everybody's still rolling.
Yeah, I was impressed not more cars been involved in that with the amount of cars coming across the track.
It could have been much bigger. Especially, like you said, when they came across the track like that.
You got 3 wide action down the Kemmel Straight.
Kieran Liftlanders lost a couple positions in the 20. Action all over this track. Coletta and Lindgren. And everybody else has calmed down, but Flores off the road into the sand. Matthew Lindy, huge run, looking to the outside, looking to the inside, nothing doing in Puhan for the 3, but Flores slips and slides his way off the road, loses 2nd, 3rd, 4th, tumbling down the order is the 7. Here comes Goddard, here comes Apparatus in the 27. Flores forcing his way, we're side by side in the Fognier chicane, in the right, in the left. Can Flores close the door? He does. On Apparatus in the 27.
He definitely got swallowed up there. It shows you there's a pretty fine margin with these front tires. If you lose the grip on them, you're going wide. Speaking of going wide, there's Karsten Quint off the track, but he's gathered it back together in the background.
As Fanning closing in on Kingsbury, looking to the inside. This is for the 5th position. As running order has not changed. Carter Gosh trying to pull away. Lindy 2nd, 3rd Ingersoll. We look at Fanning behind Kingsbury in the 911 to the 21. Flores, Arabatis, Goddard, Majoribanks, and Quint, the top 10. Lewis, Mosby, Moftah, Lifflander, Timms through 15th. Rodriguez, Lindgren, Coletta, Funk, and Prowl through 20th. Pascucci, Lambert, Sohn, Crosgrove, Lindgren, Roloff, Balland, the remaining order of the field. So, interesting already here, Ray. Carter has, let's call it basically 2 seconds on Lindy, and Lindy's only got 4/10 over Ingersoll. He's in a tricky spot because do you start pushing to try and catch Carter, or do you defend?
I think you gotta just focus on what's gonna keep you up with the leader. Personally, I wouldn't defend too much this early. You're better off just grabbing some fuel and not having to refill as much.
As Apparatus off the road in the 27 for Sequential SimSport. Goddard look to the inside for Team Watson Racing. No move for the man from Virginia in the 229, West Virginia rather. Majoribanks, Quint through 10th. Gap is 0.3 of a second from Lindy to Ingersoll. Our closest battle, I believe, is Arabatis and Goddard. Lifflander and Timms dueling away. Meatball flag in contact with Raymond Rodriguez in the 129. Darius Timms has a black flag with the orange disc. The meatball flag, for some reason, not sure what happened there for him.
Well, the good news for him is that he should be able to...
As more contact with Raymond Rodriguez and Darius Timms. What happened there?
Oh,
Taking a look at the replay, and Timms just drove into the back of Raymond's car. As this is all in the back of the field, let's take another look. Just drove straight into him. I don't know if he didn't expect that or what.
You know, Clinton Funk is up 12 positions right now.
I've been contractually sworn not to talk anything about Clinton Funk other than his name. Up 10 positions is all I'll say. I got yelled at today. Fastest lap. Anthony Flores and Matt Mosby up a considerable amount of positions as well. Goddard to the inside of Arabatis. Arabatis loose on corner exit with some oversteer. Rear tires didn't like that one. And now down the hill, Goddard will have the slipstream. No way he makes a move into Eau Rouge and Radillon. Not this time. Too early for that bravery. A wheelie in the 229. He hit the curb. Did you see that one, Ray?
Oh, I sure did. There's definitely that lack of front downforce they were talking about.
Down the Kemmel straight. Arabatis, basically a sitting duck. Goddard looking on the brakes, takes the spot. And we go back to Lifflander, slipstreaming Moftah. And further back, Coletta letting Lindgren by. Not missing anything up front. Carter Gosh, 2.2 up on Matthew Lindy. Ingersoll is 0.6 behind Lindy in the 69 to the 3. 3 cars under a blanket through the Lacombe chicane. It's Prowl, Timms, and Funk for 18th, 19th, and 20th. It looks like inside of Funk goes Timms. And Clinton nearly turned in. Timms takes the spot. Side by side, they nearly touch again.
Through or what, Timms? But it's still showing a black flag on his car there.
I have nothing.
Oh
either.
No!
Funk around.
Unfortunately,
Sympathy
Clinton,
corner and Puhan.
Unfortunately, Clinton went for a ride there.
Let's take a second look. It was a good battle with Clinton Funk and Darius Timms. He's trying to get this car out of the sand. Let's take a second look. We ride on board. Did he clip the grass?
I don't know
no,
if
just
I
too
placed
fast
too
in.
much fault
Too
with
fast
either
in.
driver, but Clinton definitely got turned.
Kevin Fanning slipstreaming Anthony Flores. This is for 5th and for 6th. As Flores passed him the last time around. It's almost creating like a DRS train effect, Ray, if you're in a cluster of cars.
Yeah, I don't know how strong the draft actually is in these things. I didn't get a chance to pull a few laps in practice. If it's anything like the GT3s, it does enough to help you, but it's not so overpowering that it's like you can't get away from someone.
As Liftlander makes a move on Marwan Moftah and move the South Carolinian to the 13th position in car number 20. Darius Timms heads to the pit lane, serves that penalty. Melanie Prow and Brandon Lambert battling for 17th. Lambert will have the slipstream. He's got rear wing damage after that first lap crash, and he's carving through the field. Even with that damage, through Eau Rouge, through Radillon, better run than Melanie in the 12, and now down the Kemmel Straight. We take a look at Ingersoll on Lindy, heading to No Name Corner.
Does look like Tim's issue was a quick repair-related issue. As soon as he did his quick repair, his car was no longer with a black flag.
As Lindy holding the second spot on Ingersoll. Kingsbury Flores, the top 5. Taking a look through the field, one around Daniel Coletta in the 99. He has no one around him. It was on his own, but that corner is going to be covered in gravel now. Lambert, the first car to come up to it. No issue. Taking a second look at what happened with Coletta through the right-hand hairpin. That one's off camber, and then you head to the 90 left. They call it No Name, even though that's technically a name. Doesn't make much sense. Loops it on his own. Let's head back to Ingersoll and Lindy up front, Brian. These guys still battling for second. Massive run into Blanchimont, but he has to brake. Lindy, I don't think, did. And down to the chicane. Couple car lengths between them. Technically 0.2 of a second. Looking, no move done. But honestly, Ray, I wouldn't make a move into this chicane, because if you did, you would set the guy up to just pass you down the Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, maybe. It depends how much grip they're losing in the slip up Eau Rouge. It looked like a few of the guys were pretty on edge. I don't know now that the tires are warmed up how bad it is, but yeah, I tend to agree with you, Josh. So you got to consider if you're not going to make the move, who are you going to end up with behind you?
Liftlander in the 20, looking to the inside on Matthew Orwas in the 47. And Liftlander move him up to the 12th position behind his teammate Matt Mosby. Clinton Funk in Eau Rouge in the way of Christos Abaratis in the 27. Pick a lane! And Clinton Funk in the way! What was that?
That's a great question, Josh. I think he was just trying not to crash with the cold tires he came out of the pits on. As we're watching your carnage there, I think it's worth mentioning that the fastest car on track last lap by a healthy margin of a second was Anthony Flores.
But Flores is not way down in traffic, but if he wants to fight for the podium, he's got Matt Kingsbury to catch and pass, and you and I both know your brother is immensely difficult to pass, and then he would have to get by Kenneth Ingersoll, so we'll have to keep our eyes on Flores as we got on board the 7.
I think with the pitch strategy and also with the fact that they're teammates, Matt won't be too much of an issue. We'll see with the rest of them. Still a big gap to make up, you're totally right.
Carter Gosh has extended the gap by, let's call it half a second. It's nearly 3 seconds for Gosh in the 91 ahead of Lindy. Liftlander into the fence. And the NASA Rallycross World Champion not having a good time in the Fournier chicanes over the curves. Let's take a second look. Kieran is desperately trying for iRacing to have a rallycross track. He was doing this.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he got any damage, though. Good job getting the brakes locked down, keeping it out of the wall.
Cody Crosgrove with an incident. Is this in Les Combes?
Oh, Moftah's too wide coming through into Blanchimont, into the
chicane. They are side by side, Moftah and Warwas, and he takes the spot.
Outside of the hairpin.
Great move. Mosby pits in the 35. So we will look at the pit strategy 15 minutes into this race, and Matt Mosby is the first one to pull the pin on strategy.
Yeah, right about now is when the window should open. I want to say there's somewhere near 60% fuel or 50% fuel.
Lindgren behind Moftaw. This is for the 11th spot. 2 AM-Class cars. AM-Class champion in the Grand Am Series is Moftaw. Scott Lindgren finally got a win last season. They're side by side down the Kemmel Straight. Matthew Warwas, where do you go? Left, do you go right, or do you go through the middle? In the 47 does the pole. Sticks behind.
They heat up for the podium as well.
The 2. Ingersoll and Kingsbury, 3rd and 4th. Last time around, Ingersoll was a 2:18.9, 2:18.8 for Matt in the 21. This is taking place behind Matthew Lindy and Anthony Flores getting close as well. 3rd, 4th, and 5th under a blanket here at Spa. Looking to the inside, forcing his way through is Matt.
A little aggressive.
Ingersoll 2-for-1 special in the worst of ways, loses the position to obviously Matt, but Flores as well. Now, this opens up the conversation for that podium that we just talked about between Flores and Kingsbury.
It was definitely a lunge from Matt. I'm not sure if he was going to make that overlap before the turn in, but there was contact, and it seems like he stuck it, but very marginal move.
Now, if I'm Ingersoll, I'd remember that. If I get my way back up, I won't be as nice to the 21. Down to the final bus stop chicane, Flores peaking. You know those two are in a Discord channel, telling each other, I'll pass you. No, I won't pass you, but nice and kind as teammates.
Well, if I'm Anthony Flores, I know that, my
Right.
teammate there just moves someone out of the way. I'm not expecting, maybe the kindest treatment. He looks like he's in a hurry.
Crosgrove in the pit lane, but he's 24th after the incident earlier. And I'm going to keep my eye on Matt Mosby, like I said, because he pitted. First car to pit. Nobody else pit on this occasion. So it'll be interesting to see. Through, ready on. What around? Ingersoll! He didn't hit the wall. He does now. Massive crash with Fanning in the 911. Huge hit.
Unfortunately, I think that's just a situation of there's only so much you could do when these cars have ABS.
We thought he wasn't going to hit the wall. He started backing up to the outside wall, and Fanning tried and just sent it for the gap that closed. Let's take a second look. Hit the curb, went a little airborne. Perfect save here, not a save here. Fanning's like, no, no, no! Oh, and the race is over.
Yeah, we've been on the receiving end of that before, Josh. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, and there's only so much you can do when cars coming across the track.
It's the worst feeling, regardless of discipline, where you think you're avoiding a crash, and then you just get collected in it, and it's c'est la vie, yeehaw, as Bryan would say.
Looks like Matt yielded the position to Tony, letting him chase down the 2 leaders.
So now I'm curious to see if Flores, by being released from his teammate, what lap times will he run? Carter Gosh is 3.5 seconds ahead of Matthew Lindy. It's a further 1.5 seconds from Lindy to Flores. And if I'm Kingsbury, if I'm Matt, I'm just going to be a rear gunner. It's not that Zach Goddard and company is much closer to him, but I would still play rear gunner. Taking a quick look through the field, everything's calmed down for the most part. Matt Mosby's actually
Lindy's
passing
got
a
a
couple
slow
of cars.
down, so Flores is going to actually go right by him here. Freebie.
And Kingsbury tries to get that as well. What happened to Lindy? Oh, is Blancham up?
Yeah, he went real wide there.
Way
Looked like
wide.
the nose took off. And he
Kingsbury
just said, "You know what?
inside.
Better safe than sorry."
Hits him out of the way. Does Kingsbury to Lindy. If there's one guy that I would not make contact with, it is Matthew Lindy. He knows how to move people out of the way from his NASA Rallycross Contenders Championship days. Side by side, Eau Rouge. Kingsbury backs out into Radion. Lets Lindy go. On board Kingsbury in the 21. Will he have the slipstream down the Kemmel Straight? Matthew Warwas is in the pit lane, I believe. In the 47 he is. So the second car to pit. Kingsbury, not close enough to make a move.
Well, we could see a battle shaping up by the end of this. We're going to have to keep an eye on the lap times, but Flores is free to just run laps in clean air. So, he's got 25 minutes to set PBs and prove that he deserves this win. We'll see if it happens.
Let's see who has pitted. Top 12 yet to pit here at Spa in Belgium. Thanks for hanging out with us for the opening round of the SimCAR Porsche Cup Series. Bryan Sawyer, the production truck. Ray Kingsbury next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz on ASN TV. It's been a brawl so far. We still have 25 minutes left of this opening round.
A brawl is one way to put it.
It's been a
Dog
brawl,
pile was another.
a dog pile, a war, whatever, a bloodbath, whatever you want to call it. There have been some moves and then some. I thought we were going to see vehicular gymnastics at some point tonight. It has not happened yet. Never say never. Carter Gosh 5.2 out and away from the rest of the field. I want to go and try and find one of our cars that pitted. Matt Mosby ran a 2:19.662. So for context, Carter Gosh ran a 2:18.0. He is about to run a 2:18.7. No pit stops from the top 4 just yet. No pit stops from the top 5 yet, Ray. Majori Banks in 6th. First car to pit in the 30. Nobody behind him so far is pitting. He's the only taker. Moftaw through 10th. Ingersoll pits, but he's got some rear end damage. I'm not sure if they have a fast repair. I would take that if I'm him. Kieran Lifflander pits as well. As the field beginning to peel
I'm wondering, did anybody take tires that you saw, Josh? I don't see it. I don't think it would be useful in a 45-minute
Lifflander
race.
misses his box. I don't think they took a pit or took tires. We take a look at Matthew Lindy. As Anthony Flores still holding on to the spot, but Lindy's not letting him go after Lindy had that slowdown in Blanchimont to No Name corner and then to Puhan, the double apex left-hand corner. Don't go too far into the sand, down the straight. Right behind them, Matt Kingsbury in the 21. I'm taking an eye on the people that have pitted, and that's why I was so confused. Matt Mosby ran a 2:19. He's been running 2:19s after pitting, so he either... I don't think he took tires, honestly.
I don't think they did. I don't really think it would be very beneficial in a race this short, but what do I know?
One around. Kieran Lifflander in the 20 has crashed. Massive hit for the 20 in Eau Rouge and Radeon. So while he succeeds in the NASA Rallycross World Championship, it has come to an early demise for the kid from South Carolina. Put him to the back. And he won't be getting on track again. He's disconnected from the session.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
4.5.
here and going sideways on these cars is not what you want to be doing.
So I'm going to pick you up on what you were talking about earlier with lap times. Anthony Flores was 0.3 up on Gosh the last time around. Gosh just ran a 2:19.3 to a 2:18.4 for Flores. The gap has come down by a second over the last 2 laps. Kieran missed his pit box. That's what we're watching. He did take tires, and then he lost it. And then Bryan broke everything again.
Oh, he took tires.
He hit the curb in Radeon. Off he went.
Speaking of lap times, though, in the top 3, Matthew Lindy actually was the fastest car that lap. So, this could end up, if I don't know if they're going to stay locked in step here. Probably not. They could see themselves push towards Roche if they work together a little bit.
As Lindy slipstreaming Flores, the gap from Gosh to Flores, 4.5 seconds at the top of the board. Flores curb hopped through the first bit of Lake Coleman to the right, into the left, into the next right. Downhill, off camber corner. Gravel flying from behind these cars with their off-track excursions. Marwan Moftaw the pit lane. Coletta Prowl in the pit lane as well. 13th on back. Exiting is Moftaw. Coletta. Funk in the pit lane. Escucci pits from 19th.
Oh, Flores lost the back.
Flores off the road, Lindy to the second position. Another instance of just losing the rear end on a corner entry, it looks like.
Yeah, that's one of those corners in the Porsche where the engine just wants to kind of carry on because it is, a rear engine car, and you've got more weight behind the axle. So when you start to load the front tires like that and then you unload the rears, it could do that, especially as they start to get heat into them and the fuel starts to burn off. So there's less weight in the front. Keep the front pin down on the rebound.
As Flores off the road, his teammate stays behind him. And we're just past halfway here in Spa in Belgium. We're going to step aside for just a couple moments on ASN TV. You will not miss a thing. We're going to go ASN nonstop from Belgium.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move.
Side by side between these two in turn 1, this is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn 1, over the jump to begin the first lap, clogging the inside line. McLaughlin contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn 1, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Magnus will hold his spot. The SimCAR Porsche Cup on ASN TV is brought to you by Penguin RC Simulation, Lambert Designs, and Whiplash SimCams. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe to ASN TV, no matter the platform, at ASN TV USA. And according to Bryan, we might even be on the dark web. Be sure to ring the bell to catch our live streams every week. And if you'd like to race in SimCAR, we are now partnered with NASA Sim Racing, which has something for everyone in 2026. For more information, visit nasasimracing.com. We welcome you back to the first round of the SimCAR Porsche Cup from Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, with Bryan Sawyer in the production truck, reigning SimCAR Grand Am Series champion Ray Kingsbury next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz, live on ASN TV. We have had a wonderful night so far. 13 and a half minutes left to go, Ray, and Carter Gosh still leads by 9.2 seconds over Matt Kingsbury. But what's interesting here, Tony Flores in 6th. He pitted during the break. He is 40 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, I think Tony had to pit. It looked like he had overtaxed his rear tires a little bit, and he was really falling off the pace of the other guys. So I don't know if he's going to be able to get up to Gosh, even though he's pretty quick. The Lindy did just have an issue in front of him, and now they're pretty lock in step. So, at the very least, maybe we're looking at a good battle here for the podium.
As just a reminder, these cars capped at 50% fuel, so we obviously will have to see a pit stop. But the fact of the matter is, when will Carter Gosh, Matt Kingsbury, Zach Goddard, Karsten Quent, when will they pit in the top 4? Matthew Lindy ahead of Flores, pitting as Gosh from the lead in the 91. He hits the pit lane on the limiter, 45 miles an hour. Matt Kingsbury follows him as well. Will Zach Goddard follow him from the 3rd position? I think these guys have pushed it as far as they can. Karsten Quent, the last car on the circuit yet to pit in the 555. He heads down to the final chicane. What will he do? Interesting with Lindy and Flores, 2 seconds over Flores does Lindy. That's the lead he has as Quint pits.
Yeah, Flores
we were talking about what happened
again
to Tony. Yeah. Gosh leaves the pit lane in the 91. Absolutely no contest for the race lead. No pressure at all for the kid from Minnesota.
No, it's not even close for Lindy and Flores. Matt's out way ahead of them.
Matt has pipped them both. So put Matt Kingsbury to 2nd. Goddard and Flores battling on exit. Flores takes the spot. Matt Mosby, remember that first car to pit earlier on in the race? 8th right now, as Quent gets passed by Majori Banks. It's Carter Gosh for Kieran Lifflander Racing. Kieran himself might have crashed out of this race, but Carter Gosh holding the banner and running away with this lead by 8.8 seconds over Matt Kingsbury in the 21. Joe Pascucci off the lead lap.
Absolutely the class of the field. Even if Matt had a better pit entry and pit exit, he made up a little bit of time. But
Ingersoll looking on Lindgren. Sorry, Ray, down to the Lacombe chicane. Ingersoll takes the spot on the 2, move him to 9th. He was looking good earlier in the 69. Had an issue, dropped some positions, clawing his way back up, but he's 35 seconds off of the lead. If you guys are having a fun time watching this, be sure to join us next week in Imola for round 2 of the SimCAR Porsche Cup Series, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on ASN TV. And Bryan, are you back? Are you reading this, or you want me to do it? I'm guessing the silence means I'm doing it, and I can barely read it. So we've got to move it over here. We got to blow it up, and here we go. Imola, Okayama, Long Beach, Laguna Seca, Bathurst, Lime Rock, VIR, Barber, and Interlagos. That is a phenomenal series. Who writes the schedules, Ray? Is it Lambert? Is it Brandon? Because he certainly
Brandon and I, we do the schedules. He puts the order in it, though. I gotta say, he does a good job making rhyme out of reason. We've had some sort of drama with Anthony Flores.
Yeah, you had the same. Oh, in Blanchimont, Pascucci parked it on the apex, and Flores had to go to the runoff to avoid him, and I think he got a slowdown from that. He did.
Oh, he definitely got a slowdown for that. He had no choice but to go out there either.
As Carter Gosh leads on lap number 16 in the 91, 9.5, let's call it 9.25 minutes left to go. Oh no, he blinks out, but he's back. Is he? No. Oh no. Where's the 91? No way. He blinked back in for a moment.
Well, that's not what you want to be seeing.
And he's still gone. This is not good news for the kid from Minnesota. The connection issues really bad, and we've seen how iRacing has this new protocol. We haven't seen it in rallycross competition. I don't even think we saw it in SimCAR last season, but Ray, when you're blinking and having connection issues, it might just auto-kick you.
He's back. He made it. Just in time, I think.
If I'm Carter, I'd be really scared right now.
But I mean, it's better, hopefully. Oh, no.
Oh, sent to the pits due to connection issues. The race leader out with a meatball flag due to connection issues. This is huge.
I get why iRacing does it. It's for safety reasons. It's just unfortunate when there's no one around you that it doesn't give you a little bit more leniency.
And this puts Matt Kingsbury in the lead in the 21. Lindy in second, Flores in third. 8 minutes, let's call it, left to go.
Well, Josh,
4.3 seconds.
Internet fallout is like, our version of a push rod failure in the engine, right? Something that, we can't help as drivers, but it happens all the time. And unfortunately, it does happen.
I've seen it so many times. I know it's SimCAR, obviously, but to bring a couple NASA historical references, I mean, we saw on Monday, Evan McFarlane had a wheel overheating. He crashed for the second week in a row. I remember when Connor Parisi back in 2021 was arguably going to win the race in Norway, had a connection issue before the feature, could not take the green flag, obviously lost the race there. It's the worst feeling because, like you said, you hit the nail on the head. It's effectively an engine failure out of your control, and you sit there in your rig or your VR or whatever, and you say, what did I do to the sim racing gods to deserve this today? And Carter Gosh drove impeccably, but he won't have anything to show for it.
Nope, it's happened to me fair share of times. I remember once getting ready for an IndyCar race at Milwaukee. Had the best car I could possibly ask for, and my computer literally exploded right before qualifying. Sometimes these things happen.
219.152 to a 219.160. Lindy's matching him, but it's obviously not helping him at all to try and get this gap back. The only thing that Lindy can hope for is that Matt makes a mistake in some form, a slowdown, an accident, whatever it may be. We focus on car number 3 for the moment.
Well, we do have to remember there is post-race review, and I believe Matt had a dust-up.
That is true. He was the one that hit the 69 at Ingersoll, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's going to be a penalty, but you have to consider that all results are unofficial until a post-race review is complete. Previously, we were given in-race penalties, and the results were pretty much as good as official at the end of each round.
If I'm Carter Gosh, I'd be very upset, of course, with the uncontrollable circumstance, but I'd be happy. I'd be proud of that drive. 10 seconds up on merit. There's no cautions in this series. There was no crashes from second on back to wad the entire field up. He drove away from the field in the 91. He's going to be scary to watch this season. Has set set everything on fire in Rallycross, showing up and finishing on the podium, and did well here tonight.
Whoa, I just heard something bottom, and that was one of the KLR cars right in front of John Marshbanks there. Matt Mosby. Was, all over the curb and into the sand trap.
And Kenneth Ingersoll in the 8th spot. Mosby, first car to pit earlier on. Let's take a second look. It looks like he over-rotated.
Well, he certainly didn't under-rotate it.
Into Stavelot. Wonderful circuit here in Belgium. One of the best. As 4.5 minutes left to go. We've lost Tucker Lindgren from the... But I think he crashed much earlier in the event, if I recall correctly. As Tucker was 23rd. He was 4 laps down, so he had an incident somewhere much earlier. And Marwan Moftah comes over the radio. Couldn't catch what he said. We look at Rodriguez and Warwas, 47 and 129.
We have a car around Flores at the top of the Kemmel Straight by the pit exit.
Nearly gets hit by Majori Banks. Nearly gets hit by Quint. You heard the engine soar and the 555 of Quint on the grass. Let's take a second look.
Oh, he got onto the curb too aggressive and it bounced in those big time Indy caught air.
Oh, or same thing that who crashed with Fanning. It was the same move. It was the same move that happened earlier that took Fanning out. I think it was the 69 of Ingersoll, there, that made that mistake earlier, if I recall correctly. Easy to do with these curbs. You think you can take all of the curb. Nope. Car gets upset very easily.
Yeah, and then suddenly you're flying through the air. Like it's NASA Rallycross Sonoma.
You would know all about that. You went to the moon. 3.25 minutes
has
left to go.
As high as I have.
That's impressive.
Or overtaken as high as I have.
That's impressive. Chris Lunan would have to argue with that other fact, but I digress. That's for NASA After Dark. Matt Kingsbury leads by 3.2 seconds over Matthew Lindy. Zach Goddard snuck onto the podium in the 229. Looking good.
We had Bryan so crippled and on the side of the road, blown engine.
There's one of two ways that it goes for Bryan Sohn. He either has an exceptional race or he crashes in the worst of ways. I remember in France, he was on pole position, I think, Magny Cours last season, crashed on the first lap. In Les Combes, the right, the left, and car just drove itself into the fence.
Yep, just booped it.
Overcooked the tires.
Well, Flores is definitely trying to cook with some gas now. He's trying to get back up to a few of those spots he lost. Right now, our AM leader, I mean, if we consider Matt Lindy, probably should be a pro based on his pace, is Karsten Quinn. We do have the two classes like before in SimCAR, but with it being the new season, I agree with you. We say Matt Lindy is in the M class lead, but with his pace and his experience across all forms of discipline, I don't think he'll be in that class for very long. Karsten Quint in the 555, winner from Montreal in the Grand Am season last season. Oh, Flores around again at the top of the hill. Same song, second verse, backs it into the fence, stays out of the way, hopefully, of the field. It's gone from bad to worse to horribly bad for the 7. He goes to the pit lane. Probably about where his night was going to end after he went airborne for the first time. I think he's lucky he's still got wheels on it. Left to go. Matt Kingsbury leads. 2-minute 19.2, 2-minute 19.1. Matthew Lindy has not been able to take anything out of Matt Kingsbury's lead. Zach Goddard holding third. Is going to be leading the team points coming out of this first round if they can hold it together here with a second and a third. Double podium for James Watson's squad. Looking good here in the inaugural SimCAR Porsche Cup Series race at Spa in Belgium. I mean, there's really nobody else, no other team that's got two drivers on the track in the top 10. I guess Brandon Lambert's in 11th and Marwan Moftah's 10th for Silverback. But with Flores going out, Dirty Sport, is it Dirty Sport? No, Penguin RC, they don't have too much going on. Sohn wrecked out as well. And KLR's got, they had a driver leading, but now they don't. So
That's a
Mosby in sixth is
huge,
their highest.
a huge flip of the race. And I have to poke fun at your brother for 2 seconds. If it holds like this, we got 11 seconds left. We should be on the white flag lap. I didn't catch if Barney was throwing it. I think he was. This will be the second time, if Matt holds this, that he wins due to a disqualification or a disconnect. We remember in 2022 when he won the NASA race when we had to disqualify Jacob Raffo. So, Matt, basically, if you're anybody and you're leading the race, just pull over and let Matt go because something's going to happen. I digress. I kid. Matt Kingsbury.
Matt has won his fair share of sports car races since then. I'll give him credit for that. And he grabbed the championship in between, so.
0.3 of a second. Lindy took out of that lead, but the lead is still 2.4 seconds.
From Mosby, and Ingersoll's looking for a rundown camel here.
And the 69 slipstreaming the 35. Will we see a move into the Camel straight? Gaining 170 miles an hour. Pokes out at 172. Nothing doing there from a couple of car lengths back.
Though I dare
Mosby
to
still
say,
holds the 6th spot.
Moving under braking a little bit.
Mosby holds the 6th spot. Lindgren 8th, 9th Moftaw, 10th Lambert. Great return drive for Lambert in the 46 after being relegated to the safety car driver of the last Grand Am season. The humor with the paint schemes was entertaining. Side by side.
Hopefully
It's Mosby
no
and
rear end step
Ingersoll
out here.
into Puhan. Ingersoll takes the spot. Mosby nearly hits him. He wiggles, saves it in the 35.
It wanted to come around.
Whew.
It thought about it. It said, I'm coming around. And then he said, no, you're not.
Roloff and Tim's battling for 15th like it's for the World Championship in Lost Source. But we stay focused on our race leader, Matt Kingsbury. Then up front, all race, took advantage of the connection issues from Carter Gosh into the chicane for the final time. Really no pressure from Matthew Lindy. And put his name in the books. Matt Kingsbury, the winner of the inaugural SimCAR Porsche Cup Series race at Spa in Belgium. Matthew Lindy second, and Zach Goddard will make it a double podium for Team Watson Racing in this first Porsche Cup race. Goddard third, fourth John Majoribanks, fifth Karsten Quint. Unofficially, Matthew Lindy wins the AM class. Quinton second there. Ingersoll recovers to seventh. Eighth, Mosby, after that impressive move. Lindgren, Moftaw, and Lambert, the top 10. There's been some interesting moves done in this race. People out of position on the road. Unfortunate circumstances happening to several drivers as we finished 20 laps here at Spa in Belgium. Raymond Rodriguez 11th, 12th Matthew Warwas, Coletta, Arabatis, Prowl, Timms, and Roloff. This is for 15th and 16th. These guys have been dueling all for this entire lap. And Timms holding that 15th position over Roloff. Balland. Matthew Lindy doing donuts. So is Majoribanks up Eau Rouge. Everybody's having a party on this cooldown lap.
Well, I think if you finished, you're a winner in this race. Based on what we were seeing at the top of Eau Rouge before.
That was the first lap incident. Several incidents throughout the race as Timms and Roloff will come across the line. Kevin Balland, I believe, will be the last car to finish up. He is in the 18th position on track. Let's take a look at the... Perfect, Brian, you're reading my mind. Take a look at the classification at the end of our race tonight in Belgium. Our winner, Matt Kingsbury, in the 21. Matthew Lindy in second. Zach Goddard in third, both for TWRS. John Majoribanks, Karsten Quint, Kenneth Ingersoll, Matt Mosby. Our timing's broken. Let's see who finished in the 8th position. It was Lindgren and Marwan Moftaw. Lambert in 10th. Raymond Rodriguez, Matthew Warwas through 12th. Coletta, Arabatis, Timms. Then it's Warren Roloff, Kevin Balland, Joe Pascucci, Melanie Prowl through 20th. Bryan Sohn, Carter Gosh after the disconnection. What could have been for the kid from Minnesota? Clinton Funk, Tucker Lindgren, Kieran Lifflander, Kevin Fanning, Cody Crosgrove, Ray Kingsbury, even though apparently you're not driving. I don't know why you were in this classification. You pressed the wrong button. And Robbie Kirtley apparently was registered as well. He practiced but did not qualify. So technically 28 cars set a lap time tonight. Points are identical to the results, so we don't have to go through those. But Mr. Sawyer, I've been waiting to hear your voice all night. Take me through the upcoming programming before we say goodnight.
Hello. Here we go. So, coming up this week on Sunday night, we have Sunday Night Lights at Winton. It's round 3 of the April 2026 season, so we've got 2 of those left. Crown the champion. That's going to be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe, Josh, that's you and Alex Larson on that call. Then NASA Rallycross Contenders and World Championship returns Monday for round 7 in Barcelona, 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, respectively. And then we're back here next week. SimCAR Porsche Cup Series should be Josh and Alex for round 2 at Imola.
While I have you, give me a final thought. What do you think about tonight, Bryan?
Glad I didn't drive.
You claimed twice you were going to make it 8 laps and then 2 corners. And some guys didn't even make it 1.
I think I would have made it up Rouge first time. And yeah, words. I think I would have been airborne.
Perfect. Ray, what do you think about tonight?
You know, Josh, I have a lot of thoughts about tonight. For one, I was not expecting these cars to be such a handful for the drivers. You think ABS, it's not as fast as a GT3 car, but in a way it's more difficult because it's got a lot less downforce on it. Half the battle was keeping the car from catching air.
It was interesting to see these guys having to dance these cars over the curbs, especially in Eau Rouge and Radeon. Avoid taking too much curb or ending up crashed. Like we've seen, it was 3-4 times. Anthony Flores, Kieran Lifflander, some of the best in the business, made these mistakes and caused these crashes. And Imola next week is going to be fun because I always called it a driver's track. It's not good for racing, not good for passing. But if you want to watch a car on a track and a guy racing the track, that's going to be a super fun time. Oh,
you haven't seen it in sports cars then, Josh.
No, it's going to be.
Wait until these Porsches mount that curb in the chicane. That'll be racing.
I'm ready. Just to remind everyone, the SimCAR Porsche Cup Series on ASN TV is brought to you by Penguin RC Simulation. Trusted by racers for their unbeatable support, rock-solid product guarantees, and high-performance sim gear. When you want equipment you can rely on lap after lap, Penguin RC Simulation delivers every time and is proud to present the Penguin RC Simulation Drivers' Championship. By Lambert Designs, the official graphics partner for SimCAR. From promotional materials to custom paint liveries, Lambert Designs has it all. For more information, join the NASA Discord and contact Brandon Lambert. And finally, by Whiplash SimCams, bringing you every angle, every lap, no matter the track, car, or series. Visit facebook.com/WSimCams. And thank you to Andrew Cardinale the fourth, Words Are Hard, for camera support tonight. If you like what you have seen tonight, be sure to like and subscribe to ASN TV, no matter the platform, at ASN TV USA. According to Bryan, we might even be on the dark web, so be sure to ring the bell, whatever platform it is, for our live streams every week. If you'd like to race in SimCAR, SimCAR is now partnered once again with NASA Sim Racing, which has something for everyone in 2026. For more information, visit nasasimracing.com. The checkered flag falls on the evening here in Spa. On behalf of our entire production staff, my name is Josh Mertz. Thank you for joining us for tonight. Guys, I can't read a script. Thank you for joining us for tonight's coverage of the SimCAR Porsche Cup Series. Want to congratulate Matt Kingsbury. What could have been for Carter Gosh if he didn't have those connection issues? But he has next week to make it up, and that is going to be super exciting. Be sure to join us next Thursday for more SimCAR action in Imola or NASA Rallycross on Sunday for lights or Monday for contenders in the World Championship. Until then, so long, everyone.